So hi Year 5, Mr. Simons here. I'm going to be taking over your music sessions for the next few weeks as your music teacher from Musica has been furloughed. He's not allowed into school, so I'm going to just come and keep you going and give you some different activities. So the first thing we're going to do is a listening activity. All right. So I'm just going to share with you my screen here so I can just talk you through what's going to happen. Okay. So you'll get a slide that looks like this and it'll tell you the artist or the group that we're going to listen to during the week. And then you get the clip. And then you're going to be asked some different elements of music. So the elements are the titles at the top. So the first element is instrumentation. And it asks you what instruments could you hear being played today. So you'd put your hand up and come up with all the instruments that you can. And then on the next slide, I will put the answers and you can see how close you were. The next element of music is the tempo, and tempo means speed. Now, all these words on the left here, these are the Italian words. I've told you before, and I'm sure your musica teachers have told you, that music wasn't invented in Italy, but the Italians were the sort of first to write it down, and therefore all of the words associated with music are Italian. So the Italian words are on the left, and their meaning is on the right. So the first one is presto, really fast, allegro, fast, andante, walking pace, adagio, slow, and lento, really slow. So the tempo is that pulse of the music. It's not necessarily how fast somebody's playing, it's that internal pulse, that speed, that sort of drumbeat of the music. Dunk, 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 dunk. So that is the pulse, and that's the speed. So you're looking at that to define which one of these it is. So again, once you've heard it, you'll be able to sort of roughly work out which one you think it is, and we can do a vote, and then I'll be able to show you on the next slide which one I think it is. The next element is dynamics. Now again, I'm sure you've done this on your P cornets. So on the left are the Italian words, on the right is the meaning. So we've got fortissimo, that's the loudest anyone can sort of play. Forte is loud. Mezzo forte, fairly loud, sort of in the middle. Mezzo piano, it's a little bit quieter. Again, sort of in the middle. Piano is quiet. And pianissimo is really quiet. And these symbols here, so fortissimo in music would be FF. And forte is F. Mezzo forte, you'd write MF, MP, P, and double P. It saves the composer having to write this long word when all they have to do is write PP under the music. Okay? So the next element is dynamics. So I'll be asking you what volume you thought most of the piece was. The next element is pitch. So did you think that the majority of the song or something, or piece of music that you heard, do you think it was high? Do you think the pitch was sort of in the middle? Or do you think it was low? So for instance, if you had a male singer, male singers wouldn't really sing high. They haven't got a high voice because of their Adam's apple, so they mostly sing medium to low. However, if you had a female singer, they can sort of sing medium, but most female singers will sing at the high point. Okay, so that's the pitch. Now, this is a tricky one. Another element is tonality, and that's sort of to do with emotions. It's how the music makes you feel. So if, in general, if the music makes you feel quite happy and upbeat, it's going to be what we call major. If it gets you thinking, you sort of feel a bit melancholy, a little bit sad, it's probably going to be minor. There are, as always, as you've found out in this world, always exceptions to the rule, but most of the time that's a good rule of thumb. If it makes you feel happy, it's going to be in the major key. If you're feeling a bit sort of sad, depressed, down, it's going to be in the minor key. Okay? And then, this is where we throw it over to you. It's your opinion. The teacher will ask one or two of you, how did it make you feel? And I've given you some words at the bottom. Now, I don't like the word bored. If you weren't interested or it's something you didn't, enjoy, use the word uninterested rather than bored. Okay, bored's not a great way to describe music, but you can say you were uninterested. But not only that, you've got to explain why. So you could say, the music made you feel really happy because it was upbeat, there was lots going on, there was a big drum beat and it was really quite fast and it made you feel really energetic. Or you might say you were uninterested because actually the music was very similar, there wasn't much interest, we didn't have many instruments in there, it made you feel quite sad. Okay, so you could say you were uninterested. All right, so that's how the slide works. And then the last slide is just a little bit of information about the artist and the song. So that's the listening activity. I've explained that. So without further ado, we're going to work through the first one. Okay, guys, enjoy. Okay, hi guys, I'm going to help you learn to read the treble clef. The stave are the 5 lines, okay? And the 5 lines also have 4 spaces in between them, okay? So here are our 4 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we've got 5 lines, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I've taught you the rhymes for both. You have face is in a space. So this one is face. F, A, C, E. And if it helps, I'll number them 1, 2, 3, 4. So F, A, C, E. And these ones, the lines, I gave you that mnemonic. Every good boy deserves football. Every good boy deserves football. And that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Every good boy deserves football. Now, wherever the circle is, tells you if you need to use face or if you need to use every good boy deserves football. If the circle has got a line through it like that, you can see there's a line in the middle, then you need to use the rhyme, every good boy deserves football. And if the circle is in between 2 lines like this, then you use face. Because you can see it's in a space. This one's not in a space, this one's got a line through it. Okay. So, face is in a space, every good boy deserves football. Alright? And you always start at the bottom, so 1 is always here. 1, every good boy deserves football. So, I'm going to draw 5 lines here, and we're going to work out a few of the notes. 3, 4, 5. There's my stave. Okay, so I'm going to draw a note here. So the first thing we have to decide is, do we use face or do we use every good boy deserves football? Well, let's have a look. Is it in a space or has it got a line through it? Well, I think it's got a line going through it, can you see? So that means we need to use every good boy deserves football. So we start on the bottom line, we put our pen here, every good boy. And because that line there is in the middle, that must be a B. Okay? Let's try another one. I'm going to put one here. So let's remind ourselves, is it in a space or has it got a line in the middle? Let's have a look. Well, there's no line in the middle, so it must be in a space. So we're looking for face. So here we go. First space is here, F, A. So that has to be an A. It's in that second space. 1, 2, F, A. Here we are. Let's try one more. I'm going to put a note here. So we'll make the decision. Is it a space or is it a line? We can clearly see there is a line going through it there. We can clearly see that. So, every good. So, it's the second line, it's a G. And we have made back B, A, G. And that's how you read the music using the 2 rhymes. Now, stay with the video because we're going to go onto the computer and I'm going to show you some of the words and we'll see if you can work them out. Alright? So, here is the computer version of what I've just shown you. So, every good boy deserves football. And those are the 5 lines. And then face is in the space. So we have to make that decision. Now the 2 rhymes are up here in case you forget them. So the first decision, is there a line in the middle of the note? Yes. So we're going to use every good boy deserves football. So we start at the bottom. Every good boy. So that is in the B space. So I'm looking for a line. There is no line in the middle of that note. It's inside the space. So I use face. F, A. It's in the second space. F, A. So that's got to be an A. And then, again, we're looking, there's a line in the middle. So we're back to every good boy deserves football. Every good boy deserves. So that is a D for bad. I'm going to show you one more and then you're going to have a go by yourselves. So, every good boy, because there's a line going through it. Face, F-A-C-E. A line, every good boy deserves. So we get the word bed. Right, your turn. I'm going to give you 30 seconds. Off you go. Okay, so the first one, there's a line in the middle. Every good boy. Second one, in a space. F-A. And the last one, in a line again. Every good. So you should have got the word bag. And to be fair, it should be this quick. You should make that decision, right? There's a line. Every good boy. There's a space. F-A. Okay? It should be really that fast for you now. So let's try another one. Little hint, these 2 are the same. So once you know that one, it's not going to change. Okay, here we go. So it's in a space. F-A-C-E. And these 2 are on that second line. Every good. So it's got to be G and a G. And you get the word egg. Okay, let's go a tiny bit harder because I know you guys are really clever. Let's try this one. So I'll give you a little bit longer. See if you can work out the 4 notes and the word. Okay, so the first one, it's got a line in it, so every good boy. It's got a line, every. It's in a space, F-A. It's in a line, every good boy deserves. And you get the word bead. And we're going to try one more today. I'm going to give you this one. Off you go. Okay, so it's in the space, the top space, F-A-C-E, face is in a space. And these three, they've all got a line. So, every good boy deserves, every good, every. And you get the word edge. Right. Now, the next thing we're going to do a little bit of composition, okay? I'm not sure if you've done any on your P-bone yet. I suspect not. But you did do some with me over the last couple of years. So it's just a little bit of a refresher, a little bit of a reminder, and then we're going to extend it, okay? So you're going to need your whiteboard and your pen. We're going to just practice drawing a few things, and then away we go. So the first thing you need to be able to draw is that treble clef. So, the treble clef. That's the treble clef, if you remember. And it's at the start of every line of music that you play on your P-bone. The treble clef is not a note. I don't pick up my instrument and start playing that. It just tells me that the notes that I'm going to write next to it are for a high instrument. And obviously the P-bone is a high instrument because it's quite small, so it can play all of these notes. If I were to pick up a trombone though, I wouldn't be able to play these notes because the trombone plays the low notes and they use a different sort of clef. So the treble clef is for the high notes, all right? So just to remind you how to draw on, the number 6, put a little hat on it, and then you go all the way down and do a little flick. You remember those? I'll show you one more time. And number 6, a little hat on it, all the way down, and do a flick. Okay, so you can just practice a few of those on your board. Just spend 30 seconds or so. So you can pause the video. So, on your board, or your piece of paper, we need to write the menu of notes that we're going to use for our composition today. So the first note, as always, is the crotchet. So we draw the black circle, and crotchets are worth 1 beat. And the second note, as always, is the quavers. So we draw 2 circles. Reminder, both of them have to be does. So 2 sticks on the right, join them up, and a 1 in the middle. Again, just to remind you why, each one of these notes is worth a half. So both together, they make the 1 beat. That's why we put the 1 in the middle. What we technically should do, we should write a half under each of the circles like that. There. That's really what we should do. But just to save a lot of time, what we do is we add a half and a half together, and that makes 1, which is why we put the 1 in the middle. Okay, just a little reminder for you. Just lost my board rubber. There we go. So the next one we're going to use is a minim. If you remember the 2 frogs, worth 2 beats, the minim. And we're going to use the crotchet rest, the shush. And today I would like you guys to use the semiquavers. So those are the new notes that we were learning. So for the semiquavers we've got to draw 4 circles. Colour them all in. Turn them all into does. Then we put one line at the top to join them together. Now this is the important bit. At the minute what we've got is we've got 4 quavers. Tadpole, tadpole. We need caterpillar. So to turn them into caterpillars we have to draw the second line underneath. There. Like that. Those are now caterpillars. Okay? Make sure you put that second line in. Otherwise, they're going to be quavers. So, just like we said with the quavers, these are worth a quarter each. So rather than writing a quarter 4 times, which takes up quite a lot of time, what we do is we just write 1 underneath. Because 4 quarters, again, make the whole. So what we're actually saying is this caterpillar takes the same space as the crotchet, the frog. And these quavers here, the tadpoles, take the same space as the frog. Frog, 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 frog. Tadpole, 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 tadpole. Caterpillar, 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 caterpillar. So you can see my click is the frog, and we've got to fit those notes in with that time. Okay. So that is our menu today. So on the top of your piece of paper or your board, please can you just copy those notes down so you know which ones you're going to be using. Alright? And I will pause the video here for you. And we'll come back in. So, we need to draw our musical lines. So we're going to draw 2 lines today. These lines are called the stave. There we go. And at the start we're going to draw our treble clef that we've practiced. There we go. Now, that magic number of 4. Remember, when we get to 4, we've got to put that musical full stop in. So I'm just going to write a number 4 there just to remind you guys. And when we get to 4, we put the musical full stop. Remember the bar line like that. Okay? So, hopefully your board will look like mine now. We've got a menu at the top. We've got a 4, 2 lines, and 2 treble clefs. Now at this point, you can put your pens down because I'm going to do one. And then you're going to do your own. You don't want to copy mine, you want to do your own, which is going to be far better. Okay. So I'm looking here and I'm thinking, right, I'm today going to start mine with a minim. So I draw my minim. Now, remember the stave, the line you've drawn, that goes in the middle of your note. Okay, every time when you draw your circles, the stave is in the middle. That is really, really important. Okay. I'm going to draw a crotchet. So again, look, I'm drawing my circle carefully. The stave is in the middle. I can colour it in. And I'm going to put crotchet rest. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've reached my magic number. So I'll put my bar line, my full stop in. And I've got 2 frogs, frog, shh. Now I love my caterpillars and my tadpoles at the top here, so I'm actually going to draw some caterpillars. So I'm going to draw 4 circles. And then I'm going to draw 2 minims, 2 quavers. And then I'm going to draw another 4 caterpillars. I'm going to finish with a crotchet. So I've already planned out in my head the 4 beats. Remember your second line there. then onto quavers, just one line, and then I'm drawing my caterpillars again, my semi-quavers. Second line, and I finish with my crotchet. 1, 2, 3, 4, it's full. But you can see how much space that takes up because we've obviously got to fit 4 notes in for the caterpillar. So my second bar, caterpillar, tadpole, caterpillar, frog. I love that, it's really, really quick and really funky. So I now go on to my second line here. So again, I'm going to have some more quavers. Some more quavers. I'm going to have a caterpillar here. Each time I'm remembering about making sure the line is in the middle. I'm going to have a shush. Tadpole, tadpole, caterpillar, shush. 2 frogs. Frog, shush. There we go. So each of my bars adds up to 4. All of my notes have got the stave in the middle. And I can now play my composition. So, hopefully at school you've got a drum. If you're at home, you might have a bowl or a pan. I'm going to use my bowl. So, here is my composition. Shh. In my head, I have to say, 2 frogs, frog, shh. Caterpillar, tadpole, caterpillar, frog. Tadpole, tadpole, caterpillar, shush. 2 frogs, frog, shush. That's what's going on inside my head. But I don't say it because we want to hear just what the drum's doing. Okay? So I'm going to do it one more time, just so you can hear it. Remember, in my head, I'm saying those things. Okay, so today, if you're in school, in the class, to write your what you guys can do is swap boards with each other. So once you've written it and played it, you can swap boards. If you're at home, what I'd like you to do, I'd like you to take a picture of it. Even better if you can, though, get a video of yourself playing it and put it onto Dojo. Okay? Right, nice to see you guys, and I'll see you next week. Bye!